A man won a $25,000 prize, but instead of being happy for him, his best friend shoved him off the top of a building. Seeing Damien lying motionless on the ground, Jed excitedly scooped up the lottery ticket that had fallen nearby. But what he never expected was that Damien was still alive. Panic set in immediately, and Jed grabbed a crowbar lying next to him and brought it down hard. After making sure Damien wasn't moving at all, Jed put on a pair of disposable gloves and found a handcart. With no one around, he wheeled Damien's body across the street. A truck was parked there, well out of range of any security cameras. Jed pried the padlock off the truck door with the crowbar, swung the cargo door open, and tossed the body inside. Once he was done, he left the crowbar in the truck, hoping to pin the murder on the truck driver. Then he went back to the original spot and cleaned up the scene. After that, he picked up a knife from the ground, headed to Damien's workplace, washed the knife clean, and put it back where it belonged. With all of that taken care of, Jed returned to the rooftop and used binoculars to keep an eye on the truck. Before long, he watched the truck driver come back. But instead of driving off right away, the driver immediately noticed that someone had tampered with his cargo hold. When the truck driver opened the door, sure enough, there was a body inside. Jed watched tensely from the rooftop. The driver quickly slammed the cargo door shut and sprinted to the cab. If the guy just drove away, Jed's plan would be a success, and the whole thing would have nothing to do with him. At that thought, a smug little grin crept across Jed's face. But the very next second, his expression froze. The truck didn't pull away. It made a U-turn and headed for a nearby gas station. Jed hid inside the building, nervously watching everything unfold outside, terrified of being spotted. As it turned out, the truck driver had the exact same idea. Dump the body at the gas station and wash his hands of the whole thing. From a hidden corner, Jed watched the driver move and reposition the body. That's when an idea struck him. He quickly turned on a recording device and captured the entire process of the driver handling the corpse. Then he called the police.
I'm calling from 421 Route 66. I think I just saw a murder.
With that video as evidence, the truck driver was arrested in no time. Meanwhile, Jed walked into a convenience store and bought a new scratch-off ticket. When the clerk wasn't looking, he swapped it out for the one that had belonged to Damien. Just like that, the $25,000 was his. Jed thought he'd pulled off the perfect crime, but he'd actually left one glaring loose end.
Where's the bludgeoning?
The surveillance footage never showed the truck driver killing anyone with a crowbar. That alone wasn't enough to pin him as the murderer. To figure out what really happened before the murder, Detective Charlie decided to track down the person who made the 911 call, Jed, and question him. Jed told her that Damien bought a lottery ticket every single day but had never won a thing. He speculated that because Damien was strapped for cash, he must have broken into someone's truck out of desperation and ended up getting killed by the driver. Following Jed's lead, Charlie went to the convenience store clerk Sarah to verify his story. Sarah confirmed that Damien did come in every day to buy a scratch-off, but she raised a red flag. A guy who just got back from active military duties suddenly breaks into a stranger's truck and gets killed by an ordinary driver? That didn't add up at all. Charlie then pulled the store's security footage that Sarah provided, but the camera's limited range didn't reveal anything useful. Sarah did add one more detail, though. Damien had loved Hawaii, so he always scratched his tickets with a Hawaiian commemorative coin. What struck her as odd was that Damien had never won a thing, yet Jed hit $25,000 on his very first try. Charlie headed back to the gas station to investigate further. She noticed there was actually another security camera nearby, so she asked the owner to pull the footage under the pretense of a lost wallet. But when the video played, something was off. The recording jumped straight from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. A full hour of footage was missing. Even more suspicious, the tarp on the truck had clearly been moved. To find out what happened during that missing hour, Charlie went outside and re-examined the camera setup. Everything looked normal on the surface, but nothing useful turned up, so she climbed to the rooftop instead. The place was littered with bottle caps. It looked like someone had been eating KFC up there on a regular basis. That's when Charlie caught a glint of something in the corner. She walked over and found a Hawaiian commemorative coin, the very same kind Sarah had just mentioned. This was supposed to be something Damien carried on him. So, what was it doing on the rooftop?
What are you doing up here?
Just then, Jed appeared behind her. He was the one who'd been eating KFC up there all along. Charlie played it cool and made small talk. When he wasn't paying attention, she quietly picked up the coin at her feet. On closer inspection, she noticed the coin was covered in black residue, the exact kind left behind from scratching lottery tickets. This meant Damien had very likely been with Jed the night before. Charlie then bought a few scratch-off tickets from Sarah and ran a comparison analysis. She finally spotted a critical difference in the details. Shortly after, Sarah showed up at the gas station on her own, saying she wanted to take a look at Jed's $25,000 winning ticket. Jed didn't think twice and handed over the one that had actually belonged to Damien. But the moment Sarah had the ticket in her hand, she turned and walked straight out, delivering it to Charlie. And with just one glance, Charlie knew the real killer was Jed. She noticed that every scratch-off ticket had a unique serial number. All the tickets purchased that day were numbered 500 and above, but the one Jed had was number 308, clearly from the previous day's batch. That meant the $25,000 ticket didn't belong to Jed at all. It belonged to Damien, the guy who bought a ticket every single day. Damien had brought the ticket up to the rooftop that night, and Jed saw it. Greed took over, and Jed killed him for it. But Jed pushed back. arguing that this was nothing more than Charlie's theory. There was no hard evidence to back it up, and even if she told the police, they might not buy it. Charlie didn't bother arguing. She simply turned and walked away. But not long after she left, officers arrived at the gas station and arrested Jed on the spot. It turned out that once Charlie had determined Jed was most likely the killer, she had already pinpointed the original crime scene, the alleyway right next to the gas station. Because the surveillance footage from that area was missing a full hour of recording, she tracked down truck drivers parked near the gas station and checked their dashcam footage one by one. In the end, she found a recording that captured Jed committing the murder from start to finish.